Hello and welcome. I'm Zilla, and welcome to my Ancient Gaming stream. This is where I play games and talk about their ancient studies content. Uh, we are in part 2 of my playthrough of I Am Dead, a cute little game about being a ghost on a North Atlantic island and trying to help out. Very cute little game so far. Um, so, If you do want to start from the beginning, please feel free to check out the previous video, both here on Twitch or over on my YouTube channel, Zilla's Athenaeum. You can check out all of my socials that way, I think. And please do feel free to say hello if you're in chat. I would love to hear from you. So this game was recommended to me by some friends. I went into it completely blind last time, and we talked a lot about sort of the concepts of the afterlife in general, ghosts and psychopomps, and a little bit about Tolkien and the notion of going into the West. I did look that up, and I did not find anything pre-Tolkien about that. I think he did make it up, so it's kind of fun that it's been incorporated here. Tolkien, of course, being a classics scholar, actually, who was very interested in philology, the study of languages and linguistics, particularly Latin and Greek, but he did invent several languages very thoroughly, as it happens. One of these days I'll teach myself Quenya. He apparently based that a little bit on Finnish, but I don't know to what extent. Finnish is a fascinating language in itself. Anyway, I'm getting very off topic, but the fact that Tolkien's pseudo-Scandinavian classic mythology has become a part of our cultural mythology is kind of fascinating to me. So, we had... to catch everybody up, if you are joining us new, we are the ghost of a little British guy named Morris, who was the curator and collector for the museum of this little island. I can't quite remember the name of the island, but I'm sure it'll be said multiple times. And he's passed away, I think just within the year when this game is set, which is 2019. We've seen that come up a bit. And he has been tasked with finding a recent, but not too recent, ghostly caretaker for the island, which is a volcanic island. The volcano has been dormant for many years, but apparently its ghostly caretaker is getting old and ready to head into the west. We've been told we'll hear more about that. We are being led around by our psychopomp of a dog, Sparky. And we have just talked to the ghost of the lighthouse keeper and resident yoga expert, who has decided that he would prefer to simply move on, having completed his sort of self-journey to peace after his involvement in a war. So we've just finished that up, and we're ready to head on to the second of 5 ghosts, of whom one will presumably become our new volcanic guardian. Caretaker? Something like that. Okay. Why are we releasing Sparky? Oh. I guess it took us back a scene, so we're going to... We get to play Sparky for a little while and herd together all of the bits of old Pete.
Go get him.
kind of fitting for a dog to be a psychopomp in the British Isles, as I was saying last time. We do get a lot of stories of the Grim or the Black Dog, the Guardians of Death. And here we have a white dog who is helping us navigate this little interim afterlife. Here's old Pete. Crocs and yoga poses and military backstory and all.
Pete? Oh, wow. It's really you. Well, it's me, Morris.
Of course I remember you, Morris. It's lovely to see you. How's death treating?
Oh, well, you know, it's a bit jarring, but, well, I'm having a nice enough time.
I've known
But
so many
listen,
people
Pete,
who talk just
we've
like
come
this.
to
It's
ask
really
you something.
quite comforting.
Do you
Just
know
older-
about the custodian?
Older Celtic British people.
The custodian? The person who communes with...
Yes, well, that's the...
Oh, me? To be the custodian? Would you want to come with me? I would be grateful for the company.
Well, that's kind of you, but I do really need to help find a new custodian.
I understand.
Okay. So, now let's find out about who we're getting to talk to next.
Well, that didn't go well.
Oh, no worries, Morris. Plenty of other prospects. Well, 4.
Hey, Pete mentioned going into the west. What is that?
What is that?
Oh, well,
It's a
that's a
complicated
very
question.
complicated question, Morris. Just think of it as
Ah, yes.
leaving all this behind.
Val.
It is
Val
not
is our
something we can
next
do now.
ghost.
We need to go find Val. They're opening the sculpture park today.
Oh, is that opening already? Time certainly does move a bit quicker once you're not in the world. Talking to people. It all feels so distant. Though, if I'm being honest, I suppose I was a little buried in the museum those last few years after... Well, you know... Ha! You know, you might say I started living like a ghost. Well before I became one.
Oh, you weren't a ghost, Morris. That museum is full of life, and ghosts can't give belly rubs anywhere near as well as you did, trust me. Now let's get going. We're gonna find Val.
Ah, yes, Val. I do feel a bit sorry for her, having her home invaded by all these silly artists.
I think I was saying last time, it's very funny to me that Morris is so happy about the yoga studio and always wanted to try it, but he finds the artists silly.
Maybe. But at least we have a laird who's
Shelmerston,
interested in doing
that's the
nice
name
things
of the
for
island.
Shelmerston.
Yeah, I suppose so. I was never sure about letting all those artists stay on Shelmerston, but I must admit that his heart's in the right place. Well, let's find Val then. After you, Sparky.
Onward to the sculpture garden. I'm excited. Oh, this is cute. There's a lot of people here.
Well, the park has changed. I barely recognize it anymore with all these artists buzzing about.
Oh, they're not so bad. So many different and exciting smells.
Yes, well, you and I have always valued different things in smells.
And now we need to sniff out Val. Just like before, let's find some people with memories of her and track down those mementos.
Okay. So, Valerie was the daughter of Henry Outram, the Laird of Shelmerston. Her mother died when Valerie was little, and she was always independent, roaming around the grounds of Shelmerston Hall and exploring the island. In the early 90s, her father converted Shelmerston Hall to an artist commune and recently opened the grounds as a sculpture park. Oh. She was a bit young when she died. She's close to my age. I wonder what happened. I'm sure we'll find out. Well, that person certainly is dressed amusingly. I would love to see their face. It's kind of hard to navigate. So, Vulpine interpretations. Look at all these little foxes. Vulpine, of course, being the Latin for vulpus, being fox. Part 2 rebuttal. Fascinating. I don't know what this is about, but woman and child. We've got some people here. Cornelia Kircher, R.A. We've got a gardener. Apple core. Oh, not seeing anybody yet with memories of Val. There's somebody. Mimi Bergonzi. Mimi and Val were best friends until Mimi left Shelmerston to study drama and dance at Exeter University, and they lost touch. She's since returned to the island where she lives with her kids, Arthur and Katie. Let's see what Mimi remembers about Val.
In the last summer, before our GCSEs, Val and me spent a lot of time together, usually wondering how we could get our hands on something to drink.
Well,
No one
that's
on this
pretty
stupid
typical
little
of
island
college
would serve us
students.
some. One day, we were hanging around on the allotments near the quay when we spotted something. And so, later that night, we went into the woods behind Val's house to drink it, sitting on top of that ancient stone that they say protects the island.
Oh,
There
there's a
was no way we were
stone
gonna get
protector
through
of
it
the
all.
island.
So we decided to bury the rest. A few weeks later, we went to dig it up again, but couldn't remember where we dug the hole.
That's a cute memory, but a little
There
bit
is so much of our
alcoholic.
history buried on this island. Stories everywhere, right under your feet.
This is a pretty common way of finding things, you know, as an archaeologist, you dig up stuff that people forgot. This is great for more recent stuff. Like if you're doing archaeology of, you know, sort of the 1800s or something, you find buried garbage pits, or you know, I was digging up a garden once in Connecticut, and we found what looked like an entire apothecary set. Lots of glass bottles and strange metal tools, pipettes. You can find all sorts of things discarded just under the surface. But this is also how we find all sorts of things. Garbage dumps from ancient times sometimes survive, especially in places that are good for preserving, like a peat bog or desert. DJ Trundlebot, hi. Pirate treasure? Yeah, I bet. I bet there's pirate treasure. It's exactly how it works. So, somewhere in here will be a secret stash. Space modulation. I'm not really one for the sort of abstract modern art, but I do enjoy the conception of it. This thing reminds me a little bit of what you'd see in, like the monolith in A Space Odyssey. So space modulation, it's no longer a monolith, but something that looks almost like a geographic section of Earth where you can see all of the layers as they've deposited over the years. Look at all these people. So, I don't see anything I can click to zoom in on. At least not yet. Donald and Ivan are visits to Shelmerston. They've been sent by C-Def Logistics to inspect the harbor. I guess this would be Ivan. Couldn't resist a visit to the sculpture park. I mean, who could? And you are? Lauren Ahern, a shopkeeper. Can I zoom in on your bag? Jessica's bag. A tea flask. Lovely. And who are you? Are you Jessica? How can I get an angle on you? Why do you look so strange? Mariana. Just a totally different art style. I wonder... The first of the fish folk to open a business on Shelmerston. Oh, right! I forgot this world is slightly different and does include non-human, sentient, and sapient races. So that's pretty cool. So she's a fish folk. It's like a mermaid, but not. Now I see something in here. It looks like a shovel. There we go. We have found the secret stash! Can't tell what that stuff is. Shasha?
Wow, Morris, this smells incredible. I'm getting scallops, I'm getting peaty bogs, I'm getting roast lamb. Woof!
Well, those don't smell like things, sound like things that you should smell on bottles of alcohol. Nope. I mean, I don't like the smell of alcohol. I, in fact, really, really dislike it, but that was not something I was expecting.
I'm getting the scent of Grenkins again, Morris. I'll pop
Oh
up
yes,
to
we
let
have
you
our
know
little
the closer one.
collectible friendly spirits. So, do we have any Grenkins here? Doesn't seem like it. There is a little friend here. That sure looks like a Grenkin just hanging out. It isn't. That's Hector Pyrus, the chief art critic for the Times. Who knew? What up, Hector? Amazing. Oh, pardon me. Almost got it. There it is. Grandkid time. And who are you? Godfrey Bowen, landlord of the Camel, which I presume is some kind of inn or something. Sally Mapes, the florist. Okay. Freedom of the Morlos. Permanent work. This was the first sculpture to be erected in the park all the way back in '88. It was commissioned to commemorate the end of the annual Morlo slaughter. I don't know what a Morlo is, but that sounds... Oh. Oh, those look like manatees. Don't kill manatees! Oh, yeah, the art critic looks like a Junimo mixed with a flounder. Yeah, kind of. Or a four-legged pear is what I thought. But don't kill manatees. They're so cute. Wow. Swirly on the inside. Colin Pickering, a fisherman. And Ling. Looks like Ling is a fish person. Conurbation murmuration. So, conurbation, meaning building a city together. Look at all these burbs. And can we take a look at this one? Yeah, it's similar setup. This game is so peaceful. Morlo is a Welsh word for a type of seal. It is related to a manatee. I did not have any idea. Thank you, DJ Churnlebot. Did not expect that to actually be a real-world thing. But yeah, don't hurt the seals. They're cute. But they're probably also meat. Let's see. We want it oriented... kind of this way. It's coming into focus. There we are. See, it looks kind of like Hector, right? There's a lot of sculptures in this park. Really does look like a pleasant place to be. Ooh, some kind of bird folk. The Laird as a camel. It's a choice. Man-headed beasts and beast-headed men are quite a tradition in art, especially all throughout the you know, Egypt and the Levant. You find a lot of these things all over the Eastern Mediterranean. You have the Sphinx in Greece. You have you know, the Lamassu in well, the Sphinx also in Egypt, but whether those are the same thing is kind of hard to say. since they have different configurations. The Greek Sphinx is a woman attached to the body of a lion, often with wings. The Egyptian one, obviously a man's face on a lion's body without the wings. The Lamassu of Sumeria, which is a bearded man's face, not unlike this, but attached again to generally the body of a lion with wings, sometimes with hooves. And they seem to be a lot of them seem to be guardian spirits. Some of them are monsters. The Greek Sphinx, obviously monstrous. DJ Trundlebot commenting that that sexual dimorphism is in fact a thing in sphinxes, or sphinges, as you might say in Greek. Well, I would absolutely love to understand what a camel has to do with a North Atlantic island, a lush volcanic island in the middle of the sea, with no desert in sight. Well, here's Adam Baker, the Chandler, and Callum Turner, Shelmerston Fish Market, and a tour guide here. Very nice. So, we don't get any commentary on Laird as Camel, alas. Teapukitan tourists. Hailing from the islands of Teapukito in the South Pacific, these bird folk have been migrating to Shelmerston for many thousands of years. These days they do it in relative comfort, especially since their government sponsored a new ferry service to the island. So we do, in fact, have bird people. Very cool. We have a great place to lose things, it says. I don't think there's actually anything here, though. I love how many different species there are in this world. I think it's very compelling. Oh, there's a little picnic. We've got a fish man, John Dory, womp womp, and Laura Baxter. No comment on who she is, but they're having a picnic. Oh, and there's a Gremkin here. I should probably see if I can find it. A little egg pasty there. Very peaceful. Did I figure out who these people were? Oh, the sculpture park sign. This looks like something Morris would have put up. It's well curated. Shelmerston Sculptural Park, located in the grounds of Shelmerston Hall, draws some of the biggest names in contemporary art to the island. Many of them stay at the hall as part of the Laird's famous artist residency program. Cute. So, got a shopkeeper, gardener. Who are you? Winkle Bob Robbins. I wonder if he's a winkle picker. Winkle being a kind of clam, I think. Certainly shellfish. A winkle picker being a kind of shoe that is pointy, like something you would use to pick a winkle. I learned this actually because of Animal Crossing, of all things. It's just like, what a weird name for a shoe. Okay. Somewhere in here, going to be something I can click on. More or less that shape. I have no notion of what yet, but maybe this? Yeah. There we go. What a strange little way of... What a strange mechanic that this game has. It's so very chill and so very unusually visual. We're back in here. Okay, so I didn't actually look at who you are. Vernon Russet. Show me your face. It's another fruit person. It's like Hector, only more humanoid. He's a russet apple, get it? Oh, what a weird idea. Oh, wait, there's a little fox kid here. Oh, Ornette, a fox, has memories of me. Or of...
I love them. Can't get enough gloves.
Want want. Foxgloves are a kind of flower. They are very poisonous. Be careful with them. I believe they are also what's known as wolfsbane, but I'd have to double check myself on that. So that's kind of cute. But I love that they have animals in here, and the animals have the same sort of memories and narration as people, just a little bit simpler. There's a good argument to be made that the line between person and non-person in terms of animal is not as clear as we like to say. So what are your memory of Val? Something to do with her gloves, I guess.
I stole farmer's glove.
Oh, look how happy she is.
I stole a fisherman's glove.
I bet that smelled pretty good to a fox. Oops. There we go.
I saw that girl out in my woods, riding that strange bumpy beast around again.
Oh! They have a camel here. I have no idea why. Untitled Fox game? Yeah, that would be fun. I would go for that. And we'd finally find out what the fox says. But yeah, okay, so maybe a little bit of an explanation for the whole camel thing. If they owned a camel and rode it around through the deciduous forests of a North Atlantic island? I'm very confused by this, but...
She really seemed to love that awful creature.
I have no idea if you can hear that, but my cat is, like, yelling. Like, flat out yelling. Come here, you silly beast. So, Fox Friend does not like the camel.
This
But Val
was an
does.
opportunity I wasn't going to miss.
Ooh. Fancy glove.
Lovely gloves.
idea of this little fox just like being obsessed with gloves.
I always did suspect there might be something in those rumours about camels on the island. All that time, and Val never let on.
Oh, the
Bless
camel's
you,
a
Val.
secret. Okay, that's fascinating. Okay, we have gotten her to come join us. So, good kitty. Will you have memories about my mementos when I'm gone? This bush is full of gloves. But we're gonna have to find exactly the right one. That doesn't look like it. I'm apparently not paying enough attention to my cat. Maybe other bushes have gloves in them. I don't know. Oh, the fox's den. I bet that has gloves in it. Oh, look at the little fox kids. They're just precious. And there's our grooming glove right there. Let me click on it. This is a lot of fun stories here.
Morris,
Foxes
I bet you
in...
wish you were alive so you could rub me with this glove.
Foxes are well known in every area in which they live for being tricksters of various kinds. But they're not, you know, they're a little bit clever and they're a little bit mischievous, but they're just critters like anybody else. They happen to be flipping adorable. And also notorious chicken thieves. So, British Isles, famously, a lot of fox hunts going on to try and preserve their chickens from the wily beasts. Of course, here in the US, we have raccoons, which are even worse. Their thumbs. Oh, I am apparently missing a gremkin here. You'd think if it was in this one I would have caught it by now, so it's probably in something else. Oh, this is a two-tailed fox. Cute. Maybe I need to look at it from below. Yeah. Haven't quite gotten close enough. Oops. Totally backwards. There we go. Yep. It's pretty unusual, though, that a fox would actually hang out where humans would be. I like that Fox Part 1 has one tail and Fox Part 2 has two. It's not actually relevant to anything, but it makes me happy. Valerie Outram's commemorative bench. Her father, the Laird, was keen to commission artist Cornelia Kircher to reinterpret the very notion of bench. It looks like a bench. It was pointed out that wasn't really Val's style, and so this plain, sensible bench was made by a local carpenter instead. And you are? Piper's Floats. Sounds cool. I found a bin. Okay, so this is the right pair of objects. Find a relevant orientation. Aha! There we go. Still not clear how you could have a secret camel on an island this size. It's not a very big place. Oh! Final example of land art. Pilgrimage was created by Don Jones, who often works by exaggerating a landscape that already exists before their work started. Here Jones took a small mound that existed in the park and played with the shape and form until they created this piece that now dominates one corner of Chelmerson's Sculptural Park. You know, this looks an awful lot like some of the earthworks that you do find all over the British Isles from various prehistoric civilizations. Was in Ireland and saw some mounds that were somewhat like this. You also get a lot of carved stonework inside them, and often there seems to be some amount of light calendar going on with them. So much like Stonehenge is essentially a solar calendar, a lot of these mounds have that kind of angle to them as well. So, although this is in-game a piece of modern art, it does recall the antiquity of the British Isles. So we have someone here. Oh, this is the Laird, Henry Outram, Val's father. Of course he remembers his daughter.
After my wife Penny's death, I struggled to find ways to spend time with my daughter. It had hit us both hard, but, you know, stiff upper lip and all that. I always found it best to keep busy.
Notice how his accent differs markedly from everybody else on the island. So the Laird is of more English stock, a higher class accent, a more London accent, than the locals, than Morris and everybody we've talked to elsewhere. Fascinating. I wasn't sure if they were going to do that.
Looking for something we could do together, I bought Valerie a set of paints. But she never even opened them. I was cross at first, but asked myself, what would Penny do? So I decided to let it go. Then one day I managed to talk her into coming into the park with me to paint some of the nature she loves so much. She wasn't very enthusiastic, but agreed to give it a try. It was a disaster. Valerie simply didn't have the temperament for painting. She had a huge, silly tantrum and threw all the paints away. I told her I wasn't having this kind of childish behavior, and I told her to stay in her room until she had calmed down. I wished Penny was still with us. She would have known what to do with the child.
Yelling at your kids doesn't usually go that well.
Very hard that, to lose a parent. Was never gonna be easy after her mum died, but he always did seem distracted with his fancy art projects.
Well, so no wonder he has this passion for bringing in artists if he himself is an art lover and he wanted to share that with his child, even if he went about it incredibly foolishly. Now, I am not a parent, but I am an educator, and let me tell you, when you want to get somebody else interested in your interests, you don't start out by deciding for them that they're going to do it. You definitely don't yell at them if they decide they don't like it. There's a giant pineapple inside. I love it. Oh boy. Interestingly, pineapples for a long time were actually a symbol of wealth and were not actually used so much as food in this part of the world as they were a sign of being able to afford something so fancy. And those pineapple-looking decorations that you see from like a couple hundred years ago, those really are meant to be pineapples. Like the like cross-hatched brass things. Fascinating to me. Oh, we've got a museum volunteer. That's pretty great. So somebody that Morris knows well. And who are you? Gar. Just a fish name. Just a fish name for a fish man. Bools has been the official sport of Shelmerston, if you don't count shell racing, which the locals don't, since the early 20th century when it was introduced by the Bergonzes, Italian settlers to the island. Okay, so Italy still exists, but instead of bocce, we have boules, which is a much more French term. We've got Gaston Perry, a fisherman. Henry Nancaro, a bootlegger and music teacher. I like that bootlegger is first. This is the more important thing. And Wilmot Cuddy. No other information. What's in the cricket bag? Nothing particularly interesting. A little tree house. Some kids. Eh. Keeping a lookout for monsters. What does a monster mean in this context, in a world where we have all of these different sapient races? Like, how do you make that determination? Yeah, I don't see why this would be all that important to Val, but certainly important to
Painting
her parents.
really wasn't for Val, was it?
No, it really wasn't. That's kind of an odd. Kate Bergonzi is the eldest Bergonzi child. She is the responsible one, but that isn't saying much. Everyone on Shelmerston knows the Bergonzi children and keep an eye on wherever they happen to be. He loves drawing, playing with his dog, Pig, and killing monsters. I love it. A dog named Pig. somewhere. I bet here. We have the rest of the painting set still here. I haven't managed to figure out where the Gremkin is yet. Oh, is that Pig? I bet that's Pig. Hey, Pig. What are you You found kittens! Oh, this is the best! Good job, Pig. Little tiny black kittens. Yeah. My cat's like, nothing is cuter than me. It's true. Nothing is cuter than this cat. Okay. So... haven't gotten an indication of where this Gremkin is. Ah. Boo's case. Is that tangled bush? Is there anything to... oh, I can click on the pineapple. Oh, here it is. There's something interesting in here. Oh. What an odd structure it has. Huh. Okay, well, we still have 2 more to find. Oh, haven't seen this one yet. What's this? The Seed Eaters. Julian and Joel, famous artists from the mainland. Look at them. Are they koala people? I wish I knew. I guess it's their masterwork, huh? Birds, each with an acorn inside. Oh, how cute. It's just a giant sculpture of a bird feeder. I like it. Oh. Ha! Just a pile of acorns all throughout the thing. They look like if Bert and Ernie finally had kids. You know they do. They do look like if Bert and Ernie finally had kids. Very wholesome. Okay, another memory. Let's... Cornelia Kircher, artist friend of Henry Outram. We've seen a lot of
I
her
spent the
work.
summer of '83 with Henry Outram, Laird of Chelmsford, in his grand hall working on a new piece. It was supposed to be about the volcano, but once I arrived, I found myself particularly taken by all the whales around the island.
Ooh, we haven't seen any whales yet.
Henry was a delightful host, always excited to have us bright young artists around, and always ready with a charming question or a fortifying glass of something.
The best kind of patron for an artist, interested in their work and very generous with the food and drink.
His daughter, I think her name was Mallory or Valerie or something, was usually outside roaming the grounds. Henry said she was discovering herself and learning self-reliance through independent play. She seemed feral to me.
Ooh, I don't like this person. I mean, I don't like kids, but I know better than to talk about them this way. Then again, this is the privacy of her own mind, so she's allowed to be rude.
One day, I came across the perfect finishing touch to my sculptural masterpiece, but it turned out to belong to the wretched child. I tried to explain to her why I needed it, but she snapped it away.
Do not take children's toys. Whatever your artistic vision. What on earth are you thinking, lady?
I went to Henry, thinking he could make her give me the boat. But to my astonishment, Henry told me it was up to her if she wanted to give it to me.
Good. Know your boundaries. Teach your boundaries. Respect other people's boundaries.
Henry caught his daughter and we all talked about it. When Henry suggested that maybe I could buy the boat, her little eyes lit up. It cost me £200 for that little wooden boat, but it was worth it.
Okay. Sure.
Henry was a good dad at heart, caring about Val's feelings, and treating her like a grown-up even when she was little. Partly how she became so independent, I reckon. I know it was tough on him, but they both turned out pretty well.
It looks like Henry developed from his initial grief and authoritative parenting into a much more gentle parenting style, or from an authoritarian to an authoritative style, I should say. Well, you can't yell a kid into liking something, but you can respect a kid into respecting you. So I guess somewhere here is going to be a little boat. Aw, swallowed by a whale. Really, if you can't see it, why is it so necessary? But, oh my goodness, what is with
I wonder how many people even saw this.
these terrible bots? My pardon if you are here in chat. Try to get rid of them. Wonder how many people even saw this. Indeed. I mean, I don't think the whale has got its mouth open or anything. Okay. There's another piece in this section. The Seed Giver by Julian and Joel. They seem to be very into birds. I appreciate that. Oh, it's got little eggs in it. How cute. Well, some little bird song for you. And take a second to figure this out. What on earth could make that straight line if it isn't the bench? But it says it isn't. Well, that's okay. We don't have to find all the Gremkins. But I do want to find that last memory. Where could it be? Oh, there it is. Oh, we have a second memory from her father. I think that makes sense. But I didn't expect it.
The famous sculptor Vernon Russet was working on a huge statement piece in my honor. A statue of a camel with my head. When I saw it, I felt quite uncomfortable, but I didn't want to upset him. Poor Vernon could be awfully temperamental, sinking into dark moods for days. The week before the public unveiling, Vernon had me visit the statue. He needed to make some final adjustments to the face. Valerie came along too. She looked like thunder. She hated that statue and wasn't afraid to show it. I couldn't help thinking how like her mother she was. When the statue was revealed, the nose was missing. Fortunately, we all managed to cover our surprise and act like nothing was wrong, so no one was any the wiser. Some fellow from the Times wrote a glowing review, so Vernon wasn't too glum about it.
I guess the fruit folks stick together.
I'm pretty sure I know what happened to that nose.
Cute.
Ah, the old Outram spirit. Good for you, Valerie. Your mother would have been proud of you.
Amazing. Not as stodgy as you seem.
Your Val told me about this. She had a whole speech prepared in case they figured out it was her who cut that nose off. But she never even needed it.
I didn't even notice, but it's true. There's no nose. It's just a blank space. I guess this is a great place to lose things after all. Come on. Let me in. There we go. No? This is odd. I keep getting smaller and smaller bits to lock in on. And there it is. Okay, that's pretty funny.
Oh, this thing looks heavy. I'm surprised Val was able to even lift it.
It's not that big. But that should be everything, so... Yes, yes, come out of the bush now, please.
We did it! Oh, yes! I know what Val smells like now. Her signal is wafting through to me very clearly. Time to fly.
Time to bark. else have we got? Oh, I only got 7 of 15. Where else? Oh, there's some. I think that's everybody. Where did Val go? There you are. It's interesting they didn't tell us how Val died. She was so young. All the memories were of her as a child. Well, I guess as a young adult at best.
Morris? Morris Lupton? Is that really you? And Sparky?
Val! Oh, it's so good to see you again.
You too. You're looking very,
Very dead.
but quite good, considering.
Hello, Val.
Sparky talks now. Death certainly has been strange. What brings you by?
Well, we're trying to find a replacement custodian. You've surely seen the volcano.
Oh, yes. Poor Aggie. Must be very tired.
I guess Aggie is
Aggie is the current custodian.
well, there we go.
Well, then, yes. We were hoping you might replace Aggie.
Oh, Morris. That's some ask.
Oh, you can do it, Val.
I'm
Modern
flattered,
slang.
But those are enormous shoes to fill. And I'm not like you, Morris. I don't love this town like you do. And if I'm being honest, I can't abide all those arty types and mainlanders tromping around. I can't speak for them. This job isn't for me.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Val. But, well, I understand.
Thank you. It's been so nice to see you again.
You too, Val. Sparky, I'd love to spend some more time chatting with Val.
Oh, I'm sorry, Morris. We really need to keep this search up. That
I
volcano
wish we
is
knew
looking
more about
dire.
who Val
That later,
is
Morris.
instead of who she
be
was
here.
as a child. That's such an
All right,
interesting
Val.
decision.
I'll find you.
But I think
Bye.
that's the note we're going to have to end on for today. We will be back next Saturday and find out who our third ghost is going to be. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you then.
Slow down, Sparky.
Keep learning, friends.